very beautiful trains one day, but now abandoned and useless and totally forgotten by the society.
This antiquated train in Tbilisi, Georgia becomes the metaphor of the change that is occurring within this country. Hi, I'm Matt, and welcome to another edition of Borders on Budgets. For this episode, we will go to the Railyards with a local artist who will make a comparison between the past of Georgia and the hunger of the knowledge for today's youth in this country. Accompanying me through the Railyards of Tbilisi is Georgian artist Yorgi. Amongst his achievements and accomplishments is that he's written a book called My Parents Don't Talk to Me. And it revolves around his parents' generation who wants to forget and not mention the history of Georgia under the Soviet occupation, but it is he and his generation, the youth of Georgia, that are hungry for this information.
So this place is just like full of symbolism. You come here, you think it's just like cemetery of old railway and old trains, but you see all the drama, all the history, all the stories here that was brought here, and it's just like, it's like boom, and then here we go. Everything just collapsed and the country got shocked and everything was paralyzed, and that's how the trains ended up here as the representative of the trauma that happened in the 90s. The trauma continued not only with economy but also with the mindset, with the taboos or stigma about the people who don't really want to talk about Soviet Union anymore, but it's in a way that these thoughts, these memories are just parked here. They are very heavy memories, they are very heavy history, but they are just parked, they are not talked about. My parents don't talk to me. It's about the generation of mine and the generation of my parents miscommunicating and misunderstanding, basically.
Well, good to see that this train and the Railyards are protected by video security. Would hate to have any riffraff come by and spoil the ambiance of the of these trains. Meanwhile, what could possibly be done, and more to the point, who would specifically want to come here and do anything to these trains? It looks like whatever has been done, ripped out, vandalized, or otherwise have made these trains inoperable, well, it has been done.
This train specifically is very symbolic, as like it was the last moments of Soviet Union and last moment of production of Soviet Union, and here we go. It's abandoned.
And to think within 30 years, this is the end result of Soviet technology and manufacturing.
Yeah. Let's go inside.
Well, they could have made this easier for trespassers by providing a step stool.
Lack of information that our young generation of Georgia is getting. This is the clear example of what's going on in our minds, and it's totally abandoned. We don't know anything, but we still see some kind of results of our past, and we have no information like what happens.
The Railyards aren't without some redeeming visual aesthetics and beauty. And this cherry blossom, well, out of place. Does give the train a nice touch. Although if I was to add a critique, the pink against the fading red, well, that's a bit of a contrasting clash.
I want the generation of our parents to start remembering their own past freely and without this heavy stone on their memories that is just like there and like they cannot really take it out.
Why would your parents' generation be so reluctant to talk about anything under the Soviet occupation and the Soviet Union?
After Soviet Union collapsed, new national movements started, which was quite. They were just taking everything from the past and they were throwing it into trash or on this kind of cemeteries, and they were saying that everything what happens before Georgia got independence again, it was totally bad and it should never happen. It should never happen, occupation of course, but in this process personal stories disappeared as well. And when personal stories are disappearing, then comes drama. So this shock, let's say, that happens in 90s, in the beginning of 90s, by collapsing the huge state as Soviet Union, caused the depression and caused this stigma over the memories, including personal stories.
Well, I would like to thank Georgi for his guidance through the Tbilisi Railyards and for him sharing his tales about how he came to write his book, My Parents Don't Talk to Me. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Borders on Budgets. A reminder, Borders on Budgets, long distance hikes, slices of life, not a lot of money. I look forward to seeing you on our next episode. All right, make sure I'm not stepping on anything that I'm not otherwise covered for in my travel insurance.